Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kalani, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you a listen to a whole range of flutes. All these flutes over here behind me, these are all Native American style flutes. At the bottom, we've got an F-sharp flute, and at the very top, we've got an E flute, and I'm going to play all of these, including this one right here, which is, you can't see it, but it's a D. So we're going to listen to an F-sharp, a G, an A B, a D, and an E flutes in this video. All right, and the purpose of this is to give you some information that you can use to answer the question, which flute should I get as a beginner, or which flute do I want to add to my collection next? That's a very common question we get a lot in the flute community. I will also, after I play all these flutes for you, I'll also give you my thoughts on which flutes you might want to get and why, based on several factors. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's just get to listening. We're going to start off with the F sharp, which is right here. And F sharp is at the cusp of what we consider mid-range flutes and bass flutes. So usually below F sharp, starting with the E, we call those bass. And then starting here, we're going to call these mid-range flutes. All right, so here is the F sharp. These are all Wood Sounds flutes, by the way, made by the same maker, Brent Haynes. And let's go. Here's our first one. All right, so nice warm sound. The F sharp, in my opinion, you can think of it as kind of the alto range flute, maybe the cello of the flute family. I don't know, maybe the viola. I don't know. But it's got a warm sound. It's a great flute that's just got kind of characteristics of both the bass range flutes and the mid-range flutes. All right, we're going to come up a half step to a G flute now, and you'll notice it's just a tiny bit brighter, very close in range, but a little bit different. And of course, these are different woods, so they're going to sound a little bit different anyway. This is a ebony, and here's what it sounds like. All right, also pretty warm. These flutes tend to have a very focused sound. Let's move up to the ever popular A flute. This one is Brazilian rosewood, also a hardwood, and here's what it sounds like. All right, so now, as you can hear, we're getting into a fairly bright range, and we're going to keep this trend with this B flute. This is monkey pod wood, and here's what it sounds like. All right, and two more to go. So we're going to skip up to D, and I don't know the wood on this. It looks like kind of like a Spanish cedar, semi-hardwood. and this is a D. Okay, and one more. Our last one is a higher E, and I don't know the name of this wood, but it is a hard wood. So here's our high E. We're almost an octave from where we started. Here we go. Okay, so you've heard all the flutes now. Let's talk about why you might want to get one over the other. And of course, eventually, you'll have them all. All right. Right off the bat, my first recommendation to most people is to start with an A flute. And there are a couple reasons for that. One, it's a very useful key flute because you can play an A minor or C major. It's basically the white keys of the piano flute. There are lots of instruments and music that lend themselves to playing in C major or A minor. It's a great key if you're going to play with a piano, an ukulele, guitar, or orff instruments. Really useful key-wise musically. Also, it's a good size for most people. Men, women, younger people, older people can place their hands on an A and reach all the holes. If you have smaller hands, well, I'll give you a different recommendation. But for a starter flute, if you don't have any flutes, I would recommend starting with an A. All right. If you have smaller hands and you have an A flute or you're thinking about getting a flute, you might want to start on a higher flute like a D or an E. D flute would be my second choice after the A. Why? Because D minor is also a very common key. It's a popular key in the minor mode. You can play in D minor or F major, also good for guitar, ukulele, hand pans, that kind of thing. The advantage of the higher flutes is that they really stand out. So I would also recommend a higher pitched flute if you think you might be playing with drums, for example, or in a larger group, and you would like to have your sound be heard so you can hear it and also other people can hear it. Also, obviously, the higher pitched flutes are smaller, easier to transport, etc. All right. If you have larger hands and you don't mind paying more, or you can afford more because prices tend to go up as the flute pitches go down. They're just bigger. They take more wood. They're a little, finicky sometimes to make. Then I would recommend a G or an F sharp. You heard them. They're wonderful, warm sounds. Music-wise, doesn't really matter, G or F sharp. You're going to play in G minor or B flat major, or an F sharp, you'd play an F sharp minor or A major. So the F sharp works really well for guitar. It's a popular flute key in the Native American music making, it's just a warmer sound. So if you think you might like more of a warmer, tenor, kind of cello-like range, more towards the bass range, then I would go for an F sharp. I wouldn't recommend an F because it's just not that popular of a key for the Native American style flutes. So you'll see F sharps a lot and then a lot of Gs. All right, so that'll give you a little bit more warmth, a little bit more on that end. And that's pretty much what I have for you in this video, you guys. Again, all these flutes are made by Brent Haynes, Wood Sounds Flutes. You can check out his work at his website. I'll leave a link below. If you have any direct questions for me, you can find me at patreon.com/Kalani. If you'd like to take lessons with me on flutes, ukulele, or drumming, you can do that over there and message me over there. If you have any helpful comments, or you'd like to just add anything, if you're familiar with these flutes or flute keys, or you have any other helpful advice for the people watching this video, put it down in the comments. Make sure you like the video. If you do, hit the bell so you get notifications and subscribe to this channel. I'm Kalani. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. Happy music making.